Dear learners, this is Shashi Ramachandran. I'm here with my new video on the topic revaluation account. So, in reconstitution of a partnership firm, like change in profit sharing ratio, admission of a partner, retirement or a death of a partner, in all such cases, we prepare this revaluation account. Along with this, we also find out the new profit sharing ratio, gaining ratio, sacrificing ratio, and also accumulated profits and losses are treated during this reconstitution of a partnership. So I already have prepared some videos on that. If you haven't watched, do watch those videos to understand the concept and the treatment of uh, new profit sharing ratio or accumulated profits and loss. Now in this video, I will explain you that what is the meaning of revaluation account and how different adjustments are treated in revaluation account. Now for the first thing, that revaluation account is a nominal account. It is a nominal account wherein the debit all losses and expenses and credit all gains and income. So at this point of time, when there is a reconstitution of a partnership firm, all the losses and the expenses, same way all the gains and the income are treated in this account. So any expense, loss, gain or income, if it's there during the reconstitution of a partnership, all are to be entered in revaluation account. Secondly, the assets and the liabilities are revalued and reassessed. Assets are revalued, the value of the assets are like change according to the market value. Same way the liabilities, if there is any changes, so this is a point where we change the value of assets and the liabilities, or we write the revised value in our new balance sheet, so that whatever changes are there at this point of time, these changes can also be adjusted. Third point here says that whatever the profit loss balance will be there of this particular account, that will be shared to old partners in their old ratio. Also, this revaluation account is prepared. As I said, it is prepared at the time of reconstitution of a partnership firm. That means this revaluation account we are going to uh, prepare at the time of change in profit sharing ratio, admission, retirement or a death of a partner. So all these chapters you have this common thing, revaluation account, and the only in a revaluation account only the changes are recorded, means whatever increase or decrease is there in the value of assets or increase or decrease in the value of liabilities, that only is recorded in a revaluation account. Also, this account is called as profit and loss adjustment account. Other name of revaluation account is profit and loss adjustment account. One more thing is important to understand at this point of time. Here in like revaluation account, we prepare only if the revised value of assets and the liabilities are to be shown in a revised balance sheet or in a new balance sheet. When the question says that the values are not to be altered, the values of assets and the liabilities are not to be altered, then we do not prepare this revaluation account. In fact, we treat it in a different way. So revaluation account is prepared when the revised values are to be recorded in the books in a new balance sheet. Most important thing to remember. Now we are going to understand that what is the format of a revaluation account. So you can see here a happy face and a sad face. So if if I say that sad news or a happy news, which one you want to listen first? So you may have your different answers, but this is something I learned in recently. I attended a CTF webinar where I learned this is a good way to make the student understand, and I hope you will also remember this way. Rote rote hasna sikho. That is, the debit side records the thing where it's like not good for the business. So the decrease in the asset, increase in the liabilities, expenses of the revaluation, unrecorded liabilities. Here, all these debit side you can see, which is not the good for business, or it's a loss or a expenses. On the other hand, credit side records all the thing which makes us happy. Our asset value increases, liabilities are decreasing. So even the unrecorded assets which were not there earlier, but now we are recording it as an asset, that also increases our assets. So this is a happy moment. So this way you can remember your revaluation account. So here in this video, as I said, that I'm going to take all possible adjustments which again affect your revaluation account, and you will understand that how it is going to affect your revaluation account. So let's understand. I've taken an extract of a balance sheet wherein the stock value is given as 20,000. So this is a balance sheet which is already given wherein the book value of an asset is 20,000. And I'm going to take different cases here wherein you will see that how what are the different adjustments, possible adjustments are there, and how it is going to be treated in revaluation account. Remember one thing, that only we are going to write the change. Whatever increase and whatever decrease amount is there, that only is going to be recorded in profit and loss adjustment account or revaluation account. So stock increased by 2000. So here it clearly says it is increased. So it's a happy moment. So increase of the stock is recorded on the credit side. Stock is an asset, it is increasing. So we are going to record this increase, the change on the credit side. Moving ahead, the stock included rupees 500 for obsolete item. So obsolete items are there which are not in use now, it's not useful, we have to take that out. So if we take it out, the value of the stock will reduce, and reduction in the stock is not a good thing because it decreases our asset. So if it decreases our asset, it will be recorded on the debit side. Moving to the next one, it says stock to be revalued at 18,000. What it says, this is something which you need to remember here, that it says it is revalued at. At and to plays very important role here to understand this language here. Stock to be revalued at 18,000. So this has to be make it, the book value has to be changed to 18,000 now. This has to be changed to 18,000. So if we are changing it to 18,000, what will happen? There is a reduction of 2,000 rupees. So again, it's not good. It is not good at all. So we are going to write on the debit side. Moving ahead, the next point says stock is undervalued by 10,000. The stock amount is valued less. So what will happen? We are going to increase it by 10%, and increase is shown on the credit side. And this value, that is 10% of 20,000, will be recorded on the credit side of revaluation account. Next one is stock is to be overvalued, stock is overvalued by 15%. Now it's a point that stock is valued more. That means we have to reduce the value of stock, and reduction in the value of stock is decrease in asset, and therefore this 15% of 20,000 which comes to 3,000 will be recorded on the credit side. Let's take another example. The market value of the stock is rupees 25,000. So here the market value is 25,000. This value is 20,000. So of course in a revised balance sheet we are going to show 25,000. But in a revaluation account we actually show the increase or decrease. So it is increased by 5,000. Increase in asset, again good, happy moment. So we are going to record on the credit side. And what amount we are going to record? It's 5,000, the difference. That is only the change amount. Still more to go. Herein I've again taken a same balance sheet extract wherein asset stock 20,000. Now what our adjustment says, stock worth rupees 12,000 was taken by a partner at a book value. That means this value 20,000 he has taken, out of this 12,000 is taken by partner A. So here we can say 12,000 is taken by A at a book value, means 12,000 he has taken at 12,000 only. The remaining stocks, so can you tell me what is the remaining here? If 12,000 is taken over by A, then the remaining is 8,000 and that is to be valued at 8,500. So just compare these two. If you compare these two, we can see there is a increase in asset which will be recorded of course on the credit side. 8,000 to be recorded as 8,500. So there is an increase of 500. Moving to the next one, a major part of the stock included in the books at rupees 9,700 has been badly damaged. So that part we have to remove. And it is expected to realize only 700. So this is 9,700 is the amount which we want to decrease. You want to take that out from the stock. It's a decrease. But since we have realized 700 from that, so exactly the decrease amount will be only 9,000. That is 9,700 minus 700. 9,700 which is damaged part we are removing, but we realize some value from that. So 700 is realized. So now it's only 9,000. Yeah, so I hope you understood the concept here, that where these amounts are to be recorded, that is increase, decrease, that. So let's take some more example. Now we have another adjustment here which says that the value of building has to be brought up to, as you remember I told you, it's very important to understand to and at. It is brought up to 150, so it has to be make up to 150% of its value, wherein we are given with the book value of building at rupees 2 lakh. So 150 of 2 lakh, if you calculate this amount, it comes to 3 lakh. Okay, so what it says, the value is 2 lakh right now and it has to be made up to 3 lakh. And if you remember, I told you that revaluation only records the change. So 3 lakh minus 2 lakh, the increase in the value of the asset is 1 lakh only. So we are going to record 1 lakh here. Now moving to the next one, an office equipment of rupees 5,000 is unrecorded in the books. Office equipment, first thing what you need to see, it's an asset. It is unrecorded, that means its actual value in the book is 0. And now we have to record it at 5,000. So 5,000 rupees will be the increase in the value of office. So office furniture increases by 5,000 rupees. Moving to the next one, it says machinery of the book value of rupees 40,000 is taken over by B for rupees 25,000. So let's have a look. Book value is 40,000, taken over by B 25,000. Only thing what we need to record, if you now understand, in a new balance sheet there is no machinery. So there is no revised value of machinery. It is taken over by B, but B has taken it only for 25,000. So there is a loss. And at this point of time, to record the loss, we have this account only, that is revaluation account. So we are going to record this loss in a revaluation account. And what is the side for the losses? Losses. This is a sad side wherein we record our loss. So machinery is, now there is a loss on the sale of the machinery, 15,000, which is going to be recorded here. Next one, a bill of rupees 3,000 for power charges still outstanding. So it's a outstanding expenses which are still there. So outstanding expenses is your liability. So that way the liabilities are to be recorded. It's still outstanding, means it's unrecorded. When you record it again, it's not good for the company that liabilities are increasing. Sad side. Next, a liability of 3000 included in bills payable that is not likely to arise, or it can be written as bills payable are to be written back by 3000. So understand this way that bills payable is a liability. There is 3000 which is not going to be claimed. Same way it is written back. So it's a good news liability. Nobody is asking for this liability. So that's a good news. So we are going to record on the credit side. The next one goes as insurance premium amounting to rupees 8000 was debited to P&L account. Okay, so here insurance premium amount is 8000. This is an expense. Of course, it is recorded on the debit side. But what we found that 1000 rupees is related to next year. That means we haven't availed any benefit of 1000 rupees premium which we are going to get in future. So by nature, it's an asset. An increase in asset is recorded on the credit side. Happy moment. So let's take some more example. Now this says that 1/3 of the machinery is taken over by B, 25,000, and the balance is revalued at 48,000. So there are two treatments related to machinery, wherein we have machinery book value of worth rupees 60,000. 60,000 is a value of machinery, and the 1/3 part. So if I take out 1/3 of this, so 1/3 part is 20,000, and this is taken over by B at 25,000. And the balance, now if you see the balance here, it is 40,000, and this balance is to be revalued at 48,000. So you can make out that exact change. Here we have a profit of 5,000 because 20,000 machinery is actually taken over by B at 25, so it's a profit. And this is again, there is again a profit of 8,000 because it increased, the value of machinery increases, and profits, which side is meant for profits, it's a credit side of the revaluation account, and total profit we can record as 8 plus 5,000, which comes to 13,000. So we can record it this way. Also this 1/3 part is taken over by B. So I'm showing you journal entries also here, which says that machinery to revaluation 13,000. I hope you understood. 5,000 here we earned, and the value 40,000 is now to be recorded as 48,000. So 8,000 here. 5 plus 8, 13,000. And B has taken over the machinery at 25,000. So this is the journal entry for the same. So in a revaluation account, it's only the credit side. Happy moment, 13,000. Now let's take another example. B, a partner, was to carry out reconstitution work of the firm at a remuneration of rupees 12,000, and was to bear all expenses of reconstitution. Now try to understand this, that actual reconstitution expenses amounted to 7,000, and these were paid by B. B is the one who is bearing all the expenses, and also he paid this expenses of 7,000. For bearing this expenses and paying the expenses, what firm is giving him? Firm is giving a commission or remuneration of 12,000. So this 12,000 is an actual expense for the firm. This is the something we are going to record, because this 7,000 is to be borne by partner and also paid by partner. So here for this 7,000, what he is bearing, firm is not bearing. For this entire process, firm is giving him 12,000. So actual expenses of firm is 12,000. So we will record 12,000 here, and since it's an expense, so expense side is debit side. So it will be recorded on the debit side of the revaluation account. I hope you understood the entire concept of revaluation account, and we have more adjustments in that. But of course, I'm going to continue this. I'm going to come with my new video with some more adjustments related to debtors or accumulated profits. So stay tuned, and I hope you like this video. Share this video with your friends and do subscribe to my channel Exuberant Learners, and also click on the bell icon to get the latest updates on my channel. Thank you.